Hello, Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. The month of December is going to give you some health and work upgrades courtesy of Venus, while the Lord of your sign, Mercury, does retrograde till the middle of December in the area of your life that has to do with home, real estate, property, and where you live. So that's going to hold you up on certain things that you've been trying to get going in the home life or home and domestic life. But on the other hand, Venus as well brings you a lot of positivity, especially her lucky trine that starts off the month. So let's get going and dive into this month ahead and how you're going to benefit from it. This is general bell curve astrology for your sign. This is not your personal chart. Please remember that this is just what may happen for you based on the sun, moon, or rising. Your rising sign can be about your avatar in the game of life. It's the character that you play, and you are the game player, which is the sun. Sun can also be career and purpose. Listening for your moon sign may put you in touch with your emotions, but things as well to do with home and your body at sometimes as well. So listen for all three. And today we're going to get started and talk about you. And FYI, to a little bit of an introduction, in case you don't know who I am. I'm Lori Lothian. I'm using the Western Tropical Zodiac Astrology. I'm a traditional astrologer. This is not Vedic or sidereal. I am using fixed stars and minor asteroids in my regular content all through my channel. Please take a look. Maybe you like all signs forecasts for everything that happens, including weekly and monthly astrology. Check it out, like, subscribe, and see if you care to stick around. Now, the only thing I'm sharing with you is to remind you, if you still want to get my 2025 2-hour video for your sign, it's a private sale, it's a fundraiser every fall, or the All Signs bundle that's like 2 hours times 12 videos. You can download those videos. You can download the audios. You can download the PDF guidebook. Plus, you can also watch the private link for all of those videos. In the description box is the information for the sale. The only other thing I want you to know is I started a new Substack column, and I've never done that before. And if you want to know about it, it's called the Pluto Chronicles. It's free. You can learn about everything Pluto, as Pluto moves in Aquarius for the next 20 years. It's an astrological written column. It is free, although you can upgrade to a paid account for more content. You don't have to. So check below for that as well. Let's get going. Virgo, sun, moon, and rising. Number one, let's just call a spade. How I do these videos, by the way, is I talk about planetary ingress, where is Mercury going, Venus going, Jupiter going, and then we move into the breakdown of the chronological events of the month in our 20 to 30 minutes together. But the first thing we must talk about is Mercury. This is the planet that rules you because you are a Virgo. It rules Geminis as well. And Mercury has been up to a lot of retrogradation storylines. He entered into the sign of Sagittarius way back in the day, around November the 2nd. Doesn't leave until January 7th. But the point is, as we begin December, this planet is in retrograde motion. As of November 26th through to December the 15th, Mercury retrograde in your sky, in your fourth house, can mean some serious connections to changes of communications or deals or negotiations or legal contracts regarding matters to do with real estate. This is also Mercury in a part of the chart where he is flowing to the North Node, but also Chiron in your 8th house, and therefore mortgages, bank loans, refinancing, things to do with buying and selling property are very much on the agenda during these November 2nd to January 7th Mercury transit through your 4th house. You might want to consider what you want to go back on. As you start the month, you're already having a retrograde Mercury saying, I'm going to go back on something that I've already been doing before. And when we get to the breakdown, we'll get more into the exact details of some of those, rethinking, changing your mind, or changes of negotiations or agreements or plans, deals regarding matters to do with one's home and domicile and private life. So it's kind of your home life has this kind of wish-washy Mercury back and forth, and Mercury in Sagittarius, where he doesn't have the details. So, I don't know what's going on for you. My daughter's moving. She's a Virgo rising and into a new property. And maybe when they signed the lease, they didn't look at the details, and they'll be moving in during this retrograde and going, oh no, we forgot to, note this fine print on our contract, something like that. Now, moving into, so that's a general vibe. We got Mercury retrograde till December 15th. Then he goes direct, and things are a lot more smooth when it comes to communications in your home, about your home, and regarding property, land, and real estate deals. We also see Venus in the month of December moving into the sign of Aquarius on December the 6th. It's going to be important because Pluto's there. And when she's in the sign of Aquarius from December 6th to January the 2nd, she's in your work house and she is a benefic. This is the job, the colleague, coworkers, employee-employer relations. And she's going to make you either have more fun at work or have more enjoyment of the work you do, or you may also experience her offering you blessings like, bonus packages, severance packages are lucrative, raises, promotions, being favored by the boss or people in power. Good things happen when Venus goes into that part of your sky. And you get that December 6th to January 2nd. So congratulations. She flows to your 10th house of career up level. She flows to your second house of earnings. Your earnings can improve. Things like that are on the menu. Do you want a pet? Venus can bring you a beautiful pet during that time. And do you want to improve your health style? With South Node moving through your second house of what you put in the nose and mouth in this part of your body, what goes through the orifices. If something bad is going through those parts of your body and you shouldn't be doing them, then Venus in your sixth house will help smooth out the health through talking to the South Node in the second house, which is Libra for you, and telling the South Node to buck up. Just get down and let's eliminate, let go, release what we don't want. And hey, with Mars in your 12th house of self-undoing, it's really good for a kind of like sober December or some kind of real commitment to a better health style and removal of habits and addictions that are not good for you. So, I know it's usually sober October or something like that, or dry Jan, but make it your own. Do something special if you need to cleanse out and purify and reset your buttons in your health in the month of December. And, whatever works for you. If anybody owes money to you or you owe money, Venus can soften the blow, and debt elimination and debt reception and good things going on with debts and indebtedness can occur through the most of December 6th to January the 6th. What about Mars? What about him? He is in the sign of Leo, where he arrived on December the 6th, does not leave Leo, where, he's traveling until brain come back online, January the 6th. So as the month begins, he's in your 12th house. This is where those addictions and self-undoings and self-sabotaging, falling away from yourself, bad habits can be. And he is the god with the scissors, the sword. And it's a really good time for you to be, again, what do you need to eliminate and cut away that gets you into your own worst enemy status. So between December the 6th and January 6th, he is in Leo. Okay, he is helping you out there. When the month begins, he is direct, but he retrogrades on December 6th. So we start off with him since November the 4th in your 12th house, retrogrades backwards on December the 6th. And he will be in a retrograde motion in the sign of Leo from 6 degrees Leo to 0 between December 6th and January 6th. And this is going to be him testing the waters of what you need to eliminate. However, you never know what else he can do here. And he could bring you some kind of adventure in a far off country and travel opportunity, for example. Or he could also indicate that it's time to make some changes in the way you approach your spiritual life, be more regimented or more physically active in your home or private life, or regimented or military and discipline in your spiritual meditation practice or something like that. He is in a general flow to the 4th house of home and also to the 8th house. And these are houses to do with your property, land, real estate, mortgages, etc. And he could be trying his best to open up some opportunities there as well. But when he's retrograde, December the 6th to January the 6th, things from the past are in play now. And when we say from the past, we're talking about his movement through the sign of Leo back in November, right? He entered Leo on November the 4th. So things that have been happening in your life, maybe you tried to quit a bad habit November the 4th onward. Maybe you tried to get that foreign trip off the ground and it didn't work out. Now he's going back to readdress it. So think about going back as a do-over of things you tried to get going November 4th, and December 6th to January 6th, you're trying again in the same part of the sky. What about the actual breakdown of the month? We're going to go through the highlights for you. Not every single transit is important. We're going to go through the ones that I think that you need to know about. So let's get started. The first week of December is highly Venusian. Venus gets really busy in the first week of December, opening up a ton of doors. With Jupiter in your 10th house retrograde, maybe some of the bounty, success, and luck that you've been experiencing in your career, right? Oh, I'm such a great career success. Isn't this wonderful? Had slowed down October the 9th and will continue to be slow till February the 4th. So, yeah, well, you've had a lot of bounty. Venus is also, like Jupiter, a bounty maker, a luck, a prosperity goddess, a goodness goddess. She's moving through the house of her joy, which is your Capricorn 5th house as the month is beginning. And Venus will then come on December the 1st, 2nd. She'll come into a beautiful trine to Uranus in your 9th house. Now, this is your chance to get a long distance trip off the ground with a romantic partner or with a child or for leisure enjoyment. And Uranus retrograding in your 9th house suggests you've been to this place before. This is not an entirely brand new foreign shore, far off adventure. But I would say December 1st and 2nd, you may be able to engineer, meaning plan or begin to put into motion that trip. But it's also the element of surprise. So maybe you're not thinking you're going to take a trip, right? You have no plans, and all of a sudden somebody offers you a golden ticket to go adventure off. And with a romance house being active, or your children, it may involve travel with or to or near or for your children, or connected to your desire for travel with your romantic partner. Also, one more thing about this December 1st, 2nd can be a bit of a shocker that you or your children are pregnant. So watch for that and see what happens. On December the 4th, 3rd to the 5th, 3rd to the 5th, okay, we have a complicated sky. We're going to see the Sun square Saturn. Normally, a Sun square Saturn wouldn't be so, inauspicious in general. It means working hard on your career, working hard on whatever your main path is. But we also at the same time have a complication of the Lord Mercury opposite Jupiter. And this is December 4th, that this is exact. And this is a retrogradation. So let's break it down, because you're the Lord of your sign. Retrograde is never the best condition for you, no matter what. It's just like things go backwards for you guys more strongly than the rest of the world. So the Sun in a square to Saturn indicates there's conflict or tension in your home and with communication in your home, and things to do with what you're wanting to do with your romantic love partner, or your business clients, or your audience and marketplace, or your business partnerships. 7th house tension in the sky on December 3rd to the 5th. Not only is Mercury squaring Saturn and the Sun are squaring Saturn, which is pretty intense in its own right, but we have Mercury in a cazimi in the heart of the Sun. Mercury in the heart of the Sun in your 4th house at home is good for you. Divine downloads, beautiful insights, sudden opportunities regarding property, land, and real estate flying through the air, especially on the 6th when the cazimi is pretty exact. But between December 4th and 6th, having Mercury in the house of the home, squaring Saturn with your significant other, and opposite Jupiter at the top of the sky means that you're having a lot of tension the first week of December. Maybe it's some kind of argument or problem at home. You're having to go back on your word, change your mind about some commitment you made. Sun can generally mean career matter commitments. You have to make a reverse course, change your mind, break a vow or something like that. And because Saturn's in the house of those significant others, this is also impacting you and a long-term relationship if you have one. Jupiter at the top of the sky is still all about the career success, the boss, things are going forward, but Mercury Sun could mean a new contract for work, like a new deal, a new terms of service being negotiated. But for some reason, it may be at odds with something that's also important to you and a significant other person. So let me know how that goes. It could be you're getting a new job contract, but it's going to have to move your home, or your partner doesn't like the hours you're going to have to work, or there's just that tension there, right? Keep it in mind, it's not the worst thing, because the Mercury cazimi on the 6th of December is where you get these kinds of really powerful very fortunate downloads, insights, but also events. Look for your phone calls, your text messages, your emails, things coming through the transom around the 6th of the month when that Kazemi is pretty exact, the 5th or the 6th, depends on your time zone. That is lucky in its own right. Anytime we see a square, a little T-square, decisions have to be made and actions have to be taken. It's going to be very motivational. And because Saturn's also in a contractual house, the 7th house are legal deals and contracts, very possibly it's just a new work contract and you have to make a really quick or sudden or exciting decision. Yes or no, do I want to take this or not? Moving forward then, we love Venus this month in the first week because not only does she give you that really happy surprise for the travel or maybe the pregnancy or maybe just some money luck. I should have brought that up. Yeah. December 1st to 2nd, you could win the lottery, for example. So if you want to buy a ticket, then go ahead, but don't take financial advice from me. I am not your financial advisor, nor never take up gambling advice either. It's just for entertainment purposes only. But I would say December 1st and 2nd, you could buy a winning lottery ticket or win a lottery or go to the casino and win or something like that. Venus in her joy trining, Uranus is sudden unexpected bounty and good fortune in your finances. But then on December 4th to the 5th, what happens? Venus is going to trine Neptune. Neptune and Venus together are dreamy for creative projects, soulmate love. You know, if you're single and you want to meet someone new, then December 4th, 5th, 6th, into the 7th, Venus is really opening up doors of goodness with her conversation with Neptune. It is, did I say trine? I mean sextile. And I find this kind of things to be, in this particular case, very much about your long-term love story. Like if you're already in a relationship and you weren't sure, at all if you were going to keep this one or was stressed out, hey, come on, Saturn's been stressing out your main squeeze relationship, then this can really turn that around because you got Neptune, Mr. Soulmate, twin flame, higher love, spiritual love. You got the guy traveling through your marriage house, right? You're trying to make your relationship stable already. And Venus trining Neptune, the 4th, 5th, 6th of the month, from the late degrees of your house of sexy romance, basically could bring this relationship into very smooth, sweet waters where existing relationships get highly romantic and dreamy. Moving forward, if you're not with someone, of course, that would be a good start. Okay, good time to meet somebody for sure. On December the 7th, we see that Venus will co-join Pluto. Okay, so Venus-Pluto is important because Venus-Pluto is happening in the sign of Aquarius. We last saw this February 17th of 2024, but it's back in a way that it wasn't, and it's very important. This is Venus and Pluto at 0 Aquarius, a house of work, pets, tenancies, rental, health, and health matters, debts. This is a wealth yoga. And the two of them are saying, I want to bring you riches, wealth, and power. And maybe it's your work, maybe it's to do with the perfect pet, but they are flowing, the two of them, to the north and south node. This is beautiful. It forms a beautiful wedge to the north node in your house of chunky money and your south node in the house of your daily income savings and the money you earn and spend. And this opens up a door of financial prosperity. So something wants to happen on December the 7th, give or take. Well, December 7th, 8th, or 9th is still in play. December 7th, 8th, or 9th. Could you be coming into some money? It's almost like you could pay off your debts or karmic debts are serviced. And it looks like it could be also an opportunity to truly, with great ease and no hardship, let go of those bad habits, addictions, and self-undoings, where that south node is traveling in your second house of things you ingest. So use that time. It's very, very precious, and it won't happen again for another 248 years this way with the nodes implicitly involved. Okay, the nodes make the difference. Now we keep going forward, and I want to talk about the T-square energy also in the sky at the same time. Oh, I already covered the T-square. Oh, I'm starting with Virgo. So sorry, guys. You're my first video. Yeah, we covered the gnarly T-square on the 6th, 7th already. On December the 12th, Venus will be in an opposition to Mars. Why does that matter to you? Well, Venus in Aquarius is in the part of the chart that's that work environment, the colleagues and the coworkers and the job space. Even if you work from home, you have an office, right? That's where Venus is. And when she's in this part of the sky opposite Mars, there is some kind of tension of opposites. The god of war and the god of love are opposite each other. It could be an office romance that you keep a secret if you want to, December 12th. It could be a conflict with a hidden enemy in the office and workspace. Somebody does not have your back and they're backstabbing. Okay, so watch out for that around December 12th. Otherwise, you may also have some disruption to far and short travel plans because you got work obligations and you're enjoying the pleasures of work as well. But Mars has an agenda for adventure, to go off and adventure to a place that you've traveled before, and suddenly something in the workspace is at odds with that. Quite possibly that could look like December the 12th. On December 14th to December the 16th, we have a lot going on. We're going to have a lunation here. That's going to be a full moon in the sign of Gemini. And we also have Mercury and Venus up to some good. And you're going to find this is a good week in general. Let's talk about the moon and then let's talk about Mercury, Venus. The moon will be full. It will be at 23 degrees of Gemini. Yes, that is your 10th house of career and reputation in the whole sign house system. And it's obviously fullness, fulfillment, sometimes completion, sometimes yielding the harvest or the rewards of what you've been doing in the career and work space. And this is at 23 degrees of Gemini with a Jupiter retrograde up there. This could indicate something along the lines of opportunities from the past connected to career and reputation, flourishing or being fulfilled. However, every full moon is about coming off of the new moon that would have happened back in May, June. So things that were going on in the professional world, May, June, are back to, your storyline for fulfillment or completion energy. Now, full moons can mean completions. You may want to complete the job. And full moons can show you in the 2 weeks that follow December, 15th, it might be an exit strategy. It might be time to leave or the job leaves you. Perhaps, but also full moons take up to 6 months to fulfill themselves, really. So you might have a huge fulfillment and a bounty and a reaping of good things, harvesting the goodness of a full light. You're going to succeed, especially with Jupiter, February 4th. If you don't like your work or something's going on where you feel overwhelmed in any kind of work environment, then don't worry. On February 4th to June of next year, 9th, you'll have a Jupiter direct and things are going to go all systems go. And that's going to overlap with the fulfillment of this moon. So there's a real beautiful energy opening up a kind of harvest and ripening of career success for you in the middle of December. When I also want to talk about Mercury trining Mars and Venus trining Jupiter, December 14th to about the 20th, let's get into that. Mercury, first of all, December 14th to the 16th, with the reminder that he's the planet that is your number one guy. So we don't mind when he flows. Trine, lucky opportunity and expansion and growth is the nature of a trine. Mercury is trining Mars. So let's break Mars-Mercury stories down. Commercial success regarding land, property, and real estate. Communications from the past regarding people from your childhood. This is your parents or your siblings or people that you grew up with in the same household. And Mercury's retrograde, hearing from these people from the past, trining Mars, retrograde in the 12th house. Now, all of this as well is creating a grand trine to the node of fate in your 8th house. And for some of you with the sun in the 4th at the same time, inheritance matters from father figures connected to events in the past. Like, maybe you always knew you were going to get some money from great grandpa, Joe, or great uncle, Fred, or whoever this father type solar figure may be. But it can look like the recipient being a recipient of money from foreigners, foreign shores, foreign places, homeland, property, real estate matters, tax rebates. But it's communication about it. It's emails and phone calls and notifications about it. Mercury retrograde connected to matters of the past, particularly connected to matters that were happening in your life in the month of November, between November the 2nd and the 26th, back for renewal or reinvestigation. Yes, you can buy a house under this or sell a house. People are already going to ask that question in the comments. Yes, you can. Just know that because Mercury's retrograde, you might have to revise things later. Or if he's retrograde because you want to make an offer on a house you've looked at before, you almost bought a house before, and now you're going to go back and look at it. That makes sense. And, if these things are connected to the past, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, do it. Do it. Venus will trine Jupiter on December 19th, 20th. Venus is a luck goddess. Jupiter is a luck goddess. The trine is lucky. Jupiter is in your career house, yeah, retrograde, but he's still up there. Venus is in an airflow from your sixth house of work. No two ways about it. It should look like something going on in your career space and workspace that looks prosperous, lucky, happy, friendly, and fun. And you're going to enjoy it. So December 19th, 20th, it could be an office Christmas party. That would be a classic, but the way things go down are exceptional. Or it's the end of year bonus checks for all the staff and you get one, or you're an employer and you hire your dream person. Whatever's going on there looks really sweet for work, career, and money matters as well. On December the 21st to the 29th, Jupiter will square Saturn. Guess what? That's a long time. He did the same thing in December around the 19th, a few days before and after. Jupiter is in a retrograde position and he's squaring Saturn in your contracts, agreements, clients, marketplace, and marriage house. Something going on in the career space, gnarly contractual problems, something going on in the career space, problems with the customer client, something going on in your career space, and problems with your partner in love, long-term and committed love. Do not start a brand new dating relationship under a Jupiter square Saturn in the house of your marriage. It's baking in problems. So Jupiter square Saturn is a drag on your lift. And from December 21st to the 30th, to the end of the month, I would not advise pushing buttons in your marriage type relationship. I would kind of hold steady and do your best not to ruffle feathers. That would be my suggestion for you. And maybe a boss wants to break a contract, or maybe you have a term job and there's a contractual renewal process that's really burdensome, difficult, constrictive. Jupiter wants the opportunity. And Saturn says, be cautious. And so think about being cautious. You might find similar themes happen between the Pisces Gemini axis back in the August 19th timeframe, a week before and after, connected to work contracts, connected to your work situation and a significant relationship partner. All right, on December 26th, Boxing Day, 27th, we have another T-square in the sky. And again, T-squares are not to be afraid of. They force us to make decisions and take actions. So that's the idea. Mercury is direct opposite Jupiter in your 10th house. Does this sound familiar? Yes, because you had it already in the beginning of the month, around December the 7th. We had that same energy playing out in the sky. So again, it's back again, but instead of being retrograde, Mercury is in direct motion. And so whatever was going on around the 7th, give or take a day on either side of December, is now going forward. Jupiter is talking to Mercury. They're in a mutual reception, which gives it some goodness. Something good wants to happen regarding home and property and real estate and work and career and reputation matters. Again, the squares to Saturn, is that a contractual agreement with your boss or your workplace? Probably. We still have Venus in the 6th house of work lending you luck. And at the same time that this is happening, this kind of like, we are going to finish what started December 6th and bring it to fruition. And Venus is still in that work house, which is great for rental properties. I want to add something to the mix here. If you're looking for a new home, you're going to see that rental property opportunities can be quite auspicious for you around the 3rd week of December. But also, when we see this T-square playing out in the sky, December 26th to the 7th, we also have Venus squaring Uranus. Now, Venus was trining Uranus on December 1st and 2nd, and that brought you really great, romantic leisure getaway, money luck, win a lottery, someone got pregnant, shocking new love story from a foreign land, foreign shore. Who knows? But now this is Venus no longer trining Uranus, which was an Earth trine, but actually squaring Uranus. So there's some unexpected development. Could be a shock. It could be a surprise to do with pets, rentals, tendencies, debts, courts, legal matters, or to do with your work environment. So there's a little bit of a jolt going on around that time, December 27th, but at the same time, the T-square that you already experienced with Mercury's Sun earlier on December 7th is back again. And Mercury's direct, at least he's in direct motion. I'd say it could be a very intense time where some unexpected developments are happening in the workplace. They're still positive. She's still trining Jupiter in your 10th house. And, courts and legal matters belong to the 9th house as well, guys. And so, if you're in a probate situation or there's some kind of legal thing that has to get sorted out to do with rental properties, that could be unexpected, maybe not necessarily unpleasant, but just jolting surprises coming through the storyline. And finally, we have on December 27th, we have Venus square Uranus. I talked about that. And we end the month at the very end of the month. We end it with a Capricorn new moon, new beginnings in your life, starting fresh in pregnancy, fertility, sexual and romantic love, business and entrepreneurial projects and endeavors, and things to do with your creative projects, your art projects. So you have a conception, a new beginning. It's happening in your 5th house. It will be occurring at 9 degrees of Capricorn, giving a lot of power to all of you Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Risings, with those degrees being between, let's go, 5 to 13 degrees. So you got a Sun, Moon, and Rising between 5 and 13 degrees of Virgo. You really like this new beginning in your 5th house, this fresh start moon. And as a fresh start moon, let me take another look at it before we finish you guys up. Yeah, as a fresh start moon, around that 9 degrees of Capricorn. Let me double check the degree. I think it's at 14 degrees. No, it's 9 degrees or so, around the 29th, 30th. It depends on your time zone. Let me just adjust my calendar. Yeah, 29th, 30th, time zone dependent. This moon is offering you, in its inception, fresh start, a new beginning in the sexual intimacy and the romantic stuff that goes on in your long-term committed love. There's just that energy is there. Alrighty. So keep it in mind. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Virgo, this is your January 2024. This is your December 2024 forecast. And that's it. That's all I got for you. Don't forget to check out the 2024 All Signs bundles and or individual signs. They're 2 hours long each, and a PDF guidebook. And you can download the video or the audio, or you can watch it unlisted video. So many ways for you to access my 2-hour story for your sign in 2025. Thank you.